Archangel Michael says, your father wants you to hear this before it's too late. Stop scrolling for just a moment. Don't leave this message yet, because there is something about your father that you may have never truly understood. Maybe your father is not the type of person who talks about his feelings. Maybe he doesn't say, I love you, every day. Maybe he doesn't know how to express what is inside his heart. But that doesn't always mean he doesn't care. Sometimes the quietest fathers carry the heaviest burdens. They wake up thinking about responsibilities. They worry about money, family, your future, your education, your happiness, and things they never tell you about. They may look strong from the outside, but strength does not mean they never feel pain. There may have been moments when you thought your father didn't understand you. Maybe you had an argument. Maybe you felt ignored. Maybe you wanted his support and didn't receive it in the way you expected. Maybe there are words between you that were never spoken. And perhaps that's exactly why this message found you today. Archangel Michael says, do not allow pride to create a distance that love could have prevented. Think about that for a moment. How many times have you wanted to talk to your father but decided to stay silent? How many times did you think, I'll talk to him later? And how many times did later become another day, another week, another month? Life moves faster than we realize. That's why sometimes the most important thing isn't winning an argument. It isn't proving who was right. Sometimes the most important thing is simply saying, Dad, are you okay? Those 4 words can mean more than you imagine. Your father may never tell you everything he has sacrificed for you. He may never explain every difficult decision he made. He may never tell you about the nights he worried while you were sleeping peacefully. But there is a possibility that some of the things you called strictness were actually fear. Some of the things you called anger were frustration. Some of the things you called silence were simply a man who didn't know how to express what he was feeling. This doesn't mean every father is perfect. Fathers can make mistakes. They can hurt us. They can misunderstand us. They can sometimes say things they regret. And if your relationship with your father is painful or complicated, you don't have to pretend everything is perfect. Tell him. Tell him you're grateful. Tell him you appreciate something he did for you. Tell him you are proud of him if you genuinely feel that way. And if saying those words feels impossible, start with something smaller. How are you? Did you eat? How was your day? Small conversations can rebuild big distances. Never underestimate the power of a simple moment. One day, you may look back and realize that the ordinary moments were actually the precious ones. Sitting together. Eating together. Laughing about something stupid. Arguing about something small. Hearing his voice from another room. Seeing him come home after a long day. These moments may seem normal today, but memories are often made from ordinary days. So if your father is still here, don't take his presence for granted. And if your relationship is difficult, don't force yourself into something unsafe or unhealthy. Choose wisdom. Choose boundaries. Choose healing. But don't let anger become the only story you remember. Archangel Michael says, some wounds are healed not by forgetting the past, but by choosing what you carry into the future. Your father may have his own wounds. He may have grown up without knowing how to communicate love. He may have been carrying responsibilities before he was ready. He may have learned to survive instead of learning how to express emotions. Understanding this doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it may help you understand the person behind it. And maybe you are becoming an adult now. Maybe you're beginning to realize that your parents were never superheroes. They were human beings trying to figure life out just like everyone else. They made mistakes. You don't have to ignore your feelings. You don't have to remove healthy boundaries. But you can still choose not to carry hatred forever. You can choose peace. You can choose healing. You can choose to release the anger that has been controlling your heart. And if your father is still with you, maybe this is your reminder to appreciate his presence while you can. Don't wait for a special occasion. Don't wait for Father's Day. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Pick up the phone. Send a message. Sit beside him. Ask him about his day. You don't need a dramatic conversation. Sometimes love begins with something as simple as, "Dad, I was thinking about you." Maybe he won't respond emotionally. Maybe he'll simply say, "Okay," or "What happened?" Don't be disappointed. Some fathers were never taught how to express emotions. They may feel deeply but speak very little. And sometimes their love is hidden inside ordinary things. The food they make sure you have. The money they save. The advice they repeat. The questions they ask. The things they repair. The responsibilities they carry. The sacrifices nobody notices. Look beyond the words and notice the actions. But there's another side to this message. Maybe you're watching this and your father is no longer here. Maybe you lost him years ago. Maybe you never got the chance to say what you wanted to say. Maybe there is a part of your heart that still wishes you could have one more conversation. If that's you, don't let guilt destroy the memories you still have. Talk to him in your heart. Say the things you never got to say. Remember the lessons. Remember the moments. Remember the love. Grief can make us focus on what we didn't get to say, but sometimes healing begins when we also remember everything that was said without words. And if your father was absent from your life, remember that his absence does not determine your worth. You are not less valuable because someone failed to give you the love you deserved. You are not responsible for another person's choices. You can break unhealthy patterns and create a different future for yourself. Archangel Michael's message is not about fear. It is about awareness. It is about recognizing the people who matter before life forces you to recognize their importance. Maybe there is a conversation waiting to happen. Maybe there is forgiveness waiting to begin. Maybe there is a relationship that can still be repaired. Maybe you simply need to stop assuming that your father knows what is inside your heart. They had fears. They had dreams. They had disappointments. And perhaps your father has been fighting battles you never knew existed. So before you judge him, try to understand him. Before you distance yourself completely, consider whether a conversation is possible. Before you say, "I don't care," ask yourself if that's really what your heart feels. Because sometimes we build walls to protect ourselves, and eventually we forget how to open the door. This message is your reminder to pause. Look around. Appreciate what you still have. Heal what can be healed. Release what you cannot change. And if you have the opportunity today, reach out to your father. Not because this video guarantees something will happen, but because love is worth expressing while we have the chance. Maybe he needs to hear your voice more than you realize. Maybe you need to hear his. Maybe 5 minutes together can become a memory you will treasure for years. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Life rarely gives us perfect moments. We create meaningful moments by choosing to show up. If your father is beside you, appreciate him. If he's far away, call him. If you're not speaking, consider whether peace is possible. If he's gone, carry the good lessons forward. And if you never had the father you deserved, remember that your future does not have to repeat your past. You can become the person you once needed. You can create the love you were missing. You can build a different story. And perhaps that's the deepest message of all: your past may explain you, but it does not have to define you. So tonight, before you sleep, think about your father. Think about the sacrifices you noticed and the ones you didn't. Think about the words you said and the words you never said. And if there is something good you can express, express it. Don't let ego speak louder than love. Don't let a temporary disagreement become a permanent regret. Because one day, the things we thought were ordinary may become the memories we would give anything to experience one more time. Archangel Michael says, honor the people who matter, heal what you can, and walk forward without carrying hatred in your heart. This message reached you today for one simple reason, to remind you that love should not always be postponed. If you still have the chance to say it, say it. If you still have the chance to call, call. If you still have the chance to forgive, begin the journey. And if you need to protect yourself, do that with wisdom and peace. Your father may never know how much this moment means to you. But you will. And sometimes that's enough to take the first step. Don't wait for tomorrow to appreciate someone you can appreciate today.